لب ادب سے رکھی جو خاک شفا مصلی پہ ادب سے رکھی جو خاک شفا مصلی پہ تو یاد آ گئی کربو بلا مصلی پر ادب سے رکھی جو خاک شفا مصلی پر ادب سے رکھی جو خاک شفا مصلی پر خدا کی ذات کو راضی جو تم نے کرنا ہو خدا کی ذات کو راضی جو تم نے کرنا ہو عزا حسین کی کر لو بپا مصلی پر ادب سے رکھی جو خاک شفا مصلی پر آخری شعر وہ جس کے دل میں نہیں ہو بے اہل بیت رسول وہ جس کے دل میں نہیں ہو بے اہل بیت رسول سے نہ ہوگا کوئی فائدہ مصلی پر ادب سے رکھی جو خاک شفا مصلی پر کربلا 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 یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین برائے خوش ندی امام زمانہ بلند الصلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. جزاك الله خير. Ahsant. This is quite befitting to see a legacy of young men coming up and honoring a kind of occasion that we have here, celebrating the birth of our dear, most dear lady, the most noble lady that ever existed in this world. Without taking much of your time, let us honor our Molana here with 3 big salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Take care.
दिख रहा है वो मैं थोड़ा सा لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على سيدنا ونبينا وطبيب نفوسنا بالقاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل. وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الهداة المهديين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد. واللعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم أعداء الله. أما بعد، قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم: من مات ولم يعرف إمام زمانه مات ميتة جاهلية. صلوات. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are celebrating here the Eid, which is known to be Eid Zahra, salamullahi alayha. I congratulate you. Also, the first day for the Imamah of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. There is no doubt that today is the day of celebrations. In our societies in India and Pakistan, and even in Arab and Iranian culture, why we celebrate on 9th Rabiul Awwal? Because according to some narrations, Mukhtar bin Yusuf al-Saqafi, he took a revenge from the killers of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salatu wasalam. And on this day, when he took the revenge, he wrote a letter to Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam and also Muhammad Hanafiya. And he sent the heads of those enemies like Umar ibn Sa'ad and likewise Ibn Ziyad, both of them, when they got the head from Mukhtar Thaqafi, especially Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, so Aimma Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, they celebrated on this day. So we have to celebrate this day because this day specifically is the day of a revenge from Qatilina Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salatu wasalam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And we have to celebrate. Why? Because when we read Ziyarat Ashura, we learn that Ali Bani Umayyah, they make 10th Muharram to be Eid day for them. And they celebrated 10th Muharram. Bani Umayyah, they celebrated this day. So of course, for them, it was like, for example, day of success. But for us, the day of celebration is Nohe Rabiul, 9th Rabiul Awwal. The other significant event on this day is the first day for the Imamat of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. And this is also very much important day for us, and we have to have connection with our Imam. We have to have ma'rifah and knowledge about our Imam. So therefore my topic is about Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in one of his greatest narration, he says, Mammata, the one who died, walam ya'arif imama zamanihi, and he did not achieve the ma'rifah of Imam of his time, mata mitata jahiliyah, so he will be dead like a dead body of the people who used to die before Islam. Mata mitata jahiliyah. Now this narration of Rasulullah is mentioned by Ahlus Sunnah as well, and likewise Shia. Both of them, they mention this narration of Rasulullah. But Ahlus Sunnah, they say Imam az-Zamanihi, the interpretation for them is different. They say Man mata walam ya'arif Imam az-Zamanihi, the ma'arifah, the knowing of Imam az-Zamana. They say Imam here means Quran. So we have to have ma'rifat of Quran and knowledge of Quran. But what we say here in this narration, Rasulullah did not mean that Imam is Quran, because Imam means Imam Ma'asum alayhi salatu wasalam. Why? Because Rasulullah did not say Mamata walam ya'arifil Imam. Mata mitata jahiliya. He introduced another word, Imama Zamanihi. So of course the Quran from the time of Rasulullah up to the day of judgment is only one. Okay, there is no other Quran. So Rasulullah saying Imam Zamanihi, that means in every Zaman there is Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. So you have to achieve the Imam, ma'rifat of that Imam. So therefore we say Imam Zamana means from Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam up to Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, Ma'rifat Imam Ali is wajib. Ma'rifat Imam Hassan is wajib. Ma'rifat Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam is wajib. A man came to Ma'soom alayhi salatu wasalam and he asked, Yabna Rasulillah, some of the people, they say, Rasulullah specifically said to us, Mammata walam ya'araf Imam Zamane. So, we have to have Ma'rifah of the Imam of the time. So there is no need to have ma'rifah of Imam before Imam Zaman or after Imam Zaman. So like for example, our Imam of the time is Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. So it's obligatory upon us to only get ma'rifah of Imam Mahdi, no other Imam like Imam Askari. So Imam replied to him, the one who interpreted this way the narration of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, may the curse be of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon him. Why? Imam says, you have to have ma'rifah of every Imam, because if until the time you are not going to know Imam Askari, you are not capable to understand Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. Because Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib introduced Imam Hassan, Imam Hassan introduced Imam Hussain. They give ma'rifah of each other. So therefore, if you want to have ma'rifah of Imam Mahdi, you have to have ma'rifah of Imam Askari. If you want to have ma'rifah of Imam Askari, you have to have ma'rifah of Imam Ali Naqi alayhi salatu wasalam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So why we die the life of ignorant man if we don't have ma'rifah of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam? Because all of the fayd, the blessings which we receive from our Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our Lord, is through the essence and that of Ma'soom alayhi salatu wasalam. Therefore, a man came, Abu Hamza Somali, to Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. He asked him a question, which is very important question. Atabqa al-ardu bighayri imamin. Oh Imam, is it possible that earth could survive without the existence of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam? Atabqa al-ardu bighayri imamin. Now here Imam Sadiq, he gave beautiful answer. He says, Law baqiyatil ardu bighayri imamin lasa'atan lasakhat. It means if earth become imamless for a while, lasakhat, it's going to swallow every creature on earth. So if we are having existence on earth, that is because of the blessings of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. That's why about Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, in Dua Adila, what we read, Alladhi bi baqa'ihi baqiyatid dunya. With the existence of Imam, dunya will exist. Wa bi yumnihi ruziqal wara. Because of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, his blessings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the sustenance. Alladhi bi baqa'ihi baqiyatid dunya wa bi yumnihi ruziqal wara. Wa bi wujudihi thabatatil ardu was sama. And then Ma'soom says in Dua Adila, Imam Mahdi is the one, because of him, earths and heavens, they are baqi, they exist. Wa bihi yamlau al-arda qistan wa adla. Kama muli'at dhulman wa jawra. And because of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah will fill earths with justice and adala as it was been full of injustice. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So we have to have ma'rifah of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. What is the definition of ma'rifah? Ma'rifat. Seeking knowledge about Imam. It means seeking knowledge about Imam alayhi salatu wasalam in depth. People, they know each other. Then they become friend of each other. Then they started knowing the attributes of each other. So ma'rifah means not basic knowledge about a person. Ma'rifah means you have to know the person in depth and you have to strive hard for that. Mamata walam ya'rif Imam Zamane. So what we have to understand about Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, the Zat of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the Sifat of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, the Aqwal, the narrations of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, the words of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, all of these are the means of achieving the ma'rifah of any ma'asum. So first of all, when it comes to the ma'rifah, in essence, the Zat of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, we have to have this ma'rifah of Imam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created him. He is in the form of human. Allah created humans from clay, but they are not like us, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them before us. So Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam was created with the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Fadl bin Shazan, in the book of Kitabul Ghaiba, there is a narration from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that Rasulullah, when he reached to Sidratul Muntaha in Mi'raj, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Mi'raj, that, O Muhammad, I send successor to each Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam when the Prophet left the earth. So they were successor of each Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And likewise, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, there will be 12 successors after you. And Allah showed each of them in Alam Zahra at the time of Mi'raj and introduced each of them. Ali, Hassan, Hussein, Zainul Abidin, Imam Baqir, Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, up to Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. And narrations, they say that Rasulullah saw the nur of Imam Mahdi standing in Arash, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, one of the title of Imam is what? Qa'im. What is the definition of Qa'im? Qa'im means the one who is standing. Why? He is standing in the position of qiyam to worship his Lord. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So first of all, we have to recognize that our Aimma, even Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they are created from nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when they are created through the nur, with the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so there is a khususiyya, significance of nur. Allah says, Allahu nurus samawati wal ard. Allah is nur, light of heavens and earths. So what does nur do? The work of nur is to show light, is to show destination. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, Allahu waliyul ladina amanu yukhrijuhum min al-dhulumati ila nur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a wali. Because Allah is nur, He is also wali. So His responsibility is to take you out from the dhulumat, the darkness, towards the nur, the light. And therefore, because A'imma Tahirin alayhim as-salatu wasalam, all of them, they are awliyaullah. They have same sifa given to them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they do the same job. وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا لَمَّا صَبَرُوا. We made them to be a'imma, yahduna bi'amrina. Allah is light. Give hidayah to you towards brightness and success. Likewise, A'imma Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, he gives us light and show the paths. That's why we call him Imam Hadi, and likewise Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. What is the meaning of Mahdi? Mahdi, the one who is guided. And the one who is guided, of course, he's going to provide you the guidance. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. When Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, he got birth. So this Imam is very important Imam in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And of course, Rasulullah and every Imam spoke about him. This Imam is introduced by every Imam before Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. Why? Because of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to put him in the ghaiba, and inshallah we will also discuss why, what is the reason of a ghaiba. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him birth, so he's very important personality, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. So according to narrations, Imam Askari, Narjis Khatun, she saw that there are angels surrounding Imam Askari alayhi salatu wasalam. And even they took Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam to protect him, to unknown place. And this is mentioned in narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. At that point, when Janab Narjis Khatun, she realized that Imam Mahdi is being taken away, she shows some concern. So Imam Askari alayhi salatu wasalam, he simply replied, because this is a matter of protection, because every man from enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, they wanted to kill Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. And therefore, this is the khususiyah of Imam Mahdi, that pregnancy of Imam Mahdi was unknown to everyone. Okay, this is the khususiyah and ahmiyah of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. So after birth, according to the narration, they took him for the protection, and therefore some of the ulama within Shia communities, they believe that the ghaibat of Sughra of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, it started from when? From the time of his birth. Because he was under the protections of angels. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And even after the ghaibat kubra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him in the ghaibah. And there is house for our Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, which is known to be Baytul Hamd. And there is a great narration about his house, narrated from Imam Baqir alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam Baqir, he says, Inna li sahibi hadal amra baytan yuqalu lahu Baytul Hamd. For Imam Mahdi, there is a house which is known to be Baytul Hamd. You know, people in our societies in India and Pakistan, they put names for their houses. So for Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, what is the name of his house? Baytul Hamd. Baytul Hamd means the place of praise. Baytul Hamd means the bayt in which Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam do the hamd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why that house is known to be Baytul Hamd. Or you could translate that, because this house is praised because of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. That's why we call this house to be Baytul Hamd. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now this narration is very important. فيه السراج يظهر منذ يوم ولد إلى أن يقوم بالسيف لا يدفع. Imam Baqir, he says, there is a light, charag, candle, whatever you call it, in the house of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, and it is enlightened from the time of his birth, and it will go on until the time he reappears. So from the time of the birth of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, that lamp in the house of Imam Mahdi, because of the barakah of Imam Mahdi, it is enlightened. So those people who say how Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam could have long life, for example, more than 1,000 years right now. So you could say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Inna Allah ala kulli shayin qadir. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can keep one lamp to be enlightened for more than 1,000 years, so Allah is capable to give life to Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, even though it is more than 1,000 years. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, other important thing, mu'mineen, about Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, when we teach our children, we say, 12th Imam, his name is what? Imam Mahdi. But this name is not the name, real name of Imam. The name, real name is the name of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But we are not allowed to disclose the name, and this is also khususiyah of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. We are not allowed to disclose the exact name of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam in a group of people. There is a narration from even Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. He says, Mal'oonun, mal'oonun. The man is cursed twice. Man sammani fi majma'in nasi bi ismi. Imam says, the man who bring my name in front of people in congregation, that man is mal'oon and mal'oon. So therefore we are not allowed, because Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is within the ghaibah, and therefore it is wajib upon us to keep his real name to be in ghaibah. So we say his name is the name, we give ishara, his name is the name of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his kunniyah is going to be the kunniyah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Salawat Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So we call him Qa'im Ali Muhammad, Sahib al-Zaman, Sahib al-Amr, Baqiyatullah, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. All of these are alqab of Imam Mahdi. The real name is going to be clear for everyone when he will reappear, inshallah. Now, the other khususiyah, which is related to our Imam, and it is related to the ma'rifat of our Imam as well. Why Imam alayhi salatu wasalam was kept, and until now he's being kept in a ghaiba. One of the khususiyah of Imam is ghaiba. And therefore some Ahlul Sunnah and most of them, they say you believe in 12 Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, from first Imam up to Imam Askari alayhi salatu wasalam, all of them, they were visible. People had opportunity to go to Imam and ask their questions. So what is the benefit of Imam while being in ghaiba? So they asked this question. So we don't see any benefit from Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. So therefore, we don't accept that Imam gone births, and therefore they believe that Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam is going to get births. So therefore, a man came and asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, هل ينتفعون الشيعة بالإمام في غيبته? O Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, are people going to benefit from the dhat of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam in his ghaibah? So Rasulullah, he replies, وَالَّذِي بَعَثَنِي بِالنُّبُوَّةِ or بِالرَّسَالَةِ, I swear to the Lord who sent me as his apostle and prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. إِنَّهُمْ لَيَنْتَفِعُونَ بِهِ وَيَسْتَضِيئُونَ بِنُورِ وِلَايَتِهِ. Rasulullah says they are going to benefit from Imam alayhi salatu wasalam in a ghaiba, and from his noor wilayat within the ghaiba, kantifa in nas bishamse wa injalla lahas sahab. Like people get sunshine benefit from the sunshine, although the sun is behind the clouds. You know, this narration is very important. Now, they can give another objection, and they could say, you know, the sun goes temporarily under the cloud. But in reply, we have to say Rasulullah is giving an example. But if you want to come to United Kingdom or further north, you know, 8 months our sun is behind the clouds. But it is giving us light and lot of benefits. And this is the reality. And this narration is very important, Mu'minin. If you ponder and, think about this, that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take away sun from earth and our solar system, what is going to happen? You know, scientists, all of them, they say energy is going to collapse. Every man, every creature, every, like for example, bird, every, like for example, nature is going to destroy within a week. Okay, mostly you could say 2 weeks. So everything which exists on earth because of the light of sun. And therefore, Rasulullah wants us to know that the existence of yours depends on the existence of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. إنهم لينتفعون به ويستضيئون بنور ولايته كانتفاع الناس بالشمس وإن جل لها سحاب. And of course, those who have connection with Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, of course, he helped them. And even we have lot of maraj and mushtahideen in history that they got straight help from Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. Like Sheikh Mufid rahmatullah alayh. You know, a man came to him and asked a question. My daughter, she died. She was pregnant. There is a child in her womb. What do I have to do? So Sheikh Mufid, he replied, you have to bury with the child. Because you cannot cut the stomach, because mu'mina, her body is respectful. So he took the answer and he was on his way. So he saw another man. He appeared and said, Sheikh Mufid, send me towards you. And he is saying the fatwa is now changed. Why? He says, my calculations were wrong. Now you have to cut the stomach and get out the child, because child got life and you have to protect the life, and it is wajib. So after a certain period of time, that old man comes with the child to Sheikh Mufid and explain what happened. And he says, this is the child about whom you change your fatwa, O Sheikh Mufid. Now Sheikh Mufid, he realizes that the man who changed the fatwa was not me. It must be someone else, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. And therefore, according to the historians, he stopped giving fatwa. He said, because of my fatwa, I was asking a life to be dead within the womb of a mother. So he said, I'm not have eligibility to give fatwa anymore. So he stopped giving fatwa, and he said, there will be no fatwa. Then Imam alayhi salatu wasalam wrote him a letter which we call tawqi'. He said, Ya Mufid, Ya Shaykh al-Mufid, minkal fatwa wa minnat tasdeed. Oh Shaykh Mufid, it is your responsibility in ghaibah to give fatwa, and it is our responsibility to correct you. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, one of his khususiyah is what, mu'minin? He is in ghaibah. And we have benefit. Now the ghaibah, Imam got birth 255 year of Hijrah. And Ghaibat al-Sughra started from the age of 5, 260 year of Hijrah. So, according to the narration, 70 years Imam was in Ghaibat al-Sughra, in a temporary Ghaibah, Sughra Ghaibah. Why? Because Imam wanted to make connection and establish that Imam Mahdi gone births. Okay? So, therefore, for 70 years in Ghaibat al-Sughra, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, and he was age 74 approximately. Up to that age, Imam had connections with Shia through Nawab Arba. Usman bin Sa'id, Muhammad bin Usman, Hussain bin Rawhi Nawbakhti, Ali Samuri. These are the direct appointed Numainda representative of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. And when Ali Samuri was close to his death, so Imam wrote a tawqi, a written message, that my Na'ib Khaz is going to die, and I am going to go enter into the Ghaibat Kubra, which started, like, for example, from that time and up to now we are in Ghaibat Kubra. So in Ghaibat Kubra, Imam said, your responsibility is what? وَأَمَّا الْحَوَادِثُ الْوَاقِعَةِ فَارْجِعُوا إِلَىٰ رُوَاةِ حَدِيثِنَا. If you have new questions, of course, the life is going to, like, for example, people are going to, like, for example, have success in future. If you have new questions, فَارْجِعُوا إِلَىٰ رُوَاةِ حَدِيثِنَا. Refer to those who narrate our ahadith. So who are those narrator of ahadith? When unfortunately in some societies, people, they say narrator of society is everyone who comes to pulpit. No. Of course, they are narrator of ahadith, but within the narrators of ahadith, there are the one who are best narrators. Who are those best narrators? The maraj and ulama and mushtahideen who served their life approximately 60, 70 years. When you start taqleed of a marja, he reached to the level of marja'iyah. Like, for example, Ayatollah Sistani, when Ayatollah Khui passed away, he became marja. He was approximately above 50 and 60. So until that time, they do research in the narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wasalam. So therefore, if you go to Qum al-Muqaddas, you will see there are thousands and hundreds of mushtahideen, but all of them, they don't declare themselves to be marja. The one, like, for example, you can make a ruju to him. The marja are, like, for example, 7, 8, 9 introduced by, like, for example, a committee in Iran. So they are the one who got most expertise because they spend a lot of time in understanding the narrators of Aimmat Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam and teaching the narrators of Masum alayhi salatu wasalam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So this is logical. When Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, he says in Ghaibat Kubra, you have to refer to Rawat Hadith. So we have to go to experts. We have to go to specialists. Like, for example, if I say you got a heart problem, may Allah make every of you secure. I'm giving the example, which is not good example. If I say to you to go to the doctor to have good treatment, or, like, for example, surgery, so are you going to visit any doctor who's working in GP? Of course not. You're going to refer to the man who is, like, for example, most experienced. You're going to see the profile, how many operations he made, how much experience he gained. The one who had, like, for example, less problems in his career, of course, you are going to choose him. So therefore, we say in Ruwat Hadith, we have to follow the marja who is most knowledgeable. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So as being Shia, we have system. Rasulullah left us with Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam Mahdi had connection with 4 Nawab, and then he said, you have to go to Rawat Hadith. And Imam, he continued saying, فَإِنَّهُمْ حُجَّتِي عَلَيْكُمْ. They are my hujjat upon you. So these Rawat Hadith are hujjat upon us. Imam Mahdi made them hujjat upon us. وَأَنَا حُجَّةُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِمْ. And I am hujjat of Allah upon those Rawat Hadith and scholars. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Now, I mean, the benefit of ghaibah, benefit in ghaibah, we understood that. What is the reason, exact reason of the ghaibah of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam? You know, this is the significant day, important day. We always say, Allahumma ajjil li waliyik al-faraj. Or we recite dua faraj Imam Zamana alayhi salatu wasalam. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making prolong the dhuhur of Imam Mahdi? And eventually, what is the reason of the ghaibah? There are many reasons. The first reason is examination. We have to understand that Imam Mahdi is in ghaibah. This is a type of examination. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take examination, different examination from different nations. Like for example, Janab Musa alayhi salatu wasalam went to Koh Tur for 40 days. That was the examination of Ummah. You know, they started worshipping the animal, you know, they made idol, and this was the exam in which they failed. So Imam Mahdi was kept in ghaibah. So we are in examination that how we take the importance of Imam Mahdi in ghaibah and how can we make connection to our Imam. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, ذَاكَ الَّذِي يَغِيبُ عَنْ شِيعَتِهِ وَأَوْلِيَائِهِ غَيْبَةً لَا يَثْبُتُ فِيهَا عَلَى الْقَوْلِ بِإِمَامَتِهِ إِلَّا مَنِ امْتَحَنَ اللَّهُ قَلْبَهُ لِلْإِيمَانِ. You know, in the ghaibah of Imam Mahdi, which is going to be prolonged, very long ghaibah, no one is going to believe in essence and existence of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, that he got birth, except those whose iman is examined. So those who believe in Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, that shows that their iman is more pure than others. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So this is first examination. The reason of ghaibah is examination. The second reason of ghaibah is what, mu'mineen? Because from Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam up to Imam Askari alayhi salatu wasalam, people, they did not recognize the fadila, the status of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. They declined the imamah, the concept of imamah. You know, straight after Rasulullah, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam was oppressed. Okay, so these are the blessings. Wilaya and imamat is blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati. The greatest ni'mah from Allah is ni'mat of wilayat of A'immat Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam. But people, they rejected A'immat Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam. They put a lot of oppression upon them. So when Allah gives you ni'mah and you don't be thankful to them, so Allah takes away the ni'mah. Allah says in the Quran, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you become thankful, so we increase in the blessings. وَلَإِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. And then if you deny, you are not thankful, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishes us. So people, Muslim ummah, because they denied the concept of imamah, they went and they followed others. So therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam to be in ghaibah. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And the third reason of the ghaibah is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to bring forward mu'mineen from the progeny of kuffar and munafiqeen. Please concentrate on this. You know, a munafiq, the man who disbelieve in the wilaya of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. So Allah wants within his progeny to give birth to children who are lover of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. There is a verse in Quran Majid, I would like to conclude on this. Allah says, وَتُخْرَجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ. Allah brings hayat, hay, from mayyit, from dead. وَتُخْرَجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ. And Allah brings deaths from hay. So what does that mean? Ma'asum alayhi salatu wasalam, وَتُخْرَجُ Hayya minal mayyit. From dead Allah brings alive. It means from kafirin and munafiqeen and mushrikeen Allah will bring the mu'min. So because this is the mission, and of course this is the success of Islam, that the man who worked all of his life in enmity of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, and Allah within his progeny, he gives him the sons who are lover of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. So this is the success of Islam. So therefore, one day I remember the event in Jang-e Siffin. Malik Ashtari Nakhai, after the settlement of the battle, he was counting, how many men he killed in this battle. So when he calculated, the thought came to his mind, I have killed more than the people Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam he killed. So Imam Ali asked Malik, what are you thinking about? So he said, Ya Amir al-Mu'minin, I got this thought. So Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, of course, the people who have been killed by you in quantity, they are more than mine. But there is, Malik Ashtar, you have to understand, there is a lot of difference. When I see whomsoever comes in front of you, you kill him because you see him as enemy. But when I kill someone, I search and see in his destiny, in progeny, that is there any mu'min up to the day of judgment. If there is a mu'min, then of course I do not kill him. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So this is proof for the point which I am raising here, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who came in battle of Siffin, within their progeny, many enemies of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam who stood against Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, Allah makes mu'mineen to get births in those progenies. And therefore, I will give example of certain people, which you will be surprised. Those who are going to hear this first time. Like for example, Yazid. All of us, we say la'anat upon Yazid. But his son, Muawiyah ibn Yazid bin Muawiyah bin Abu Sufyan, he was lover of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Can you imagine that? The son of Yazid, who martyred Aba Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salatu wasalam, his son Muawiyah bin Yazid, because Yazid gave his son's name on father's name. Okay, Muawiyah bin Yazid. What happened? When people, they gave him khilafah, he said, I'm not going to accept this khilafah. And he went to the pulpit and he said, my father did wrong. He committed lot of oppression on Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, like for example, which I don't approve or accept. And also he says, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, my grandfather Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, he fought him while Ali ibn Abi Talib was on haq. He was very much brave, and he was, like for example, closest to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he started reciting the fada'il of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam from the pulpit in Sham. And therefore, when the Bani Umayyah in Sham, they get surprised, his mother, she shouted, from lady's side, she said, I wish I have not given birth to you, O Muawiyah bin Yazid. So he replies to his mother by saying, I wish I have not get birth within this family of Bani Umayyah. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So he showed the love towards Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Why? Because he got a good ustad, teacher, Umar al-Maqsus. Narrators, they say that man was Shia, follower of Ahl Bayt or lover of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. He put love of Ahl Bayt in the heart of the sons of Yazid. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Tukhrajul hayya min al-mayyit. Allah, He wants to bring a mu'min from the progeny of kafir. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Then another example is within Bani Umayyah. Bani Umayyah, they are the one who are cursed one. Shajarai Mal'una, we call them. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, 8th Khalifah of Bani Umayyah. When he came to the power, narrations, they say, he said, cursing, doing sabbu shatam upon Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam is not allowed. I'm going to ban this. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Umar, son of Abdul Aziz. Abdul Aziz was sabbabin, from the man who used to curse Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam a lot. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Abdul Aziz bin Marwan. Marwan, who came in front of Ali ibn Abi Talib in Jang-e Jamal, Jang-e Siffin, and the two battles. And Marwan bin Hakam bin Abil As. Hakam bin Abil As, Rasulullah, exiled Hakam bin Abil As and Marwan, both of them, to Ta'if until the time Khalifa Suwum took the power and he asked them to come back to Medina. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So I gave you the background. Now Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, according to the narration, he said, I'm going to ban this la'an upon Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam from the pulpits. Because from the time of Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, approximately 99 year of Hijrah, approximately 59 years, they used to speak against Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam on pulpits. In Jum'ah, khutbah of Jum'ah, they used to, na'udhu billah, send la'na upon Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, specifically Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. Now here, this was very much huge step that Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, the sunnah and the seerah and the practice which is being practiced for 59 years, how you're going to stop it? So he made a plan. He asked a Yahudi friend, come to me when I'm there in front of people in my castle and propose my daughter. So of course I'm going to say no, because you are Yahudi. And then you will ask me another question. If I am Yahudi, how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave her daughter Fatima to non-Muslim? Okay, so they planned this. So another day, that Yahudi came and asked Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, I want to propose your daughter, I want to do nikah with her. So he says, no, you're not Muslim, you're Yahud. So we are not allowed to give our daughters to you. So again, he asked, pre-planned, he asked the question, how Rasulullah, you believe Bani Umayyah, you believe that Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam was kafir? Because for 59 years, they are accusing Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, declare him kafir, for example. So this man asked Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, if Ali ibn Abi Talib, in your opinion, if he's kafir, na'udhu billah, so how Rasulullah married Fatima to Zahra with a man who is kafir? So when he saw this, he listened to this question, he said, I have no answer, Umar ibn Abdul. And then he turned to ulama within the congregation and asked each of them to respond this Yahudi. Every of them, they said, we are not able to declare Ali ibn Abi Talib as Muslim. We don't have answer. Okay, so they said, we don't have answer. Then Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, he said, if you don't have answer, this means the practice which we are doing from 59 years, that is batil. From now onwards, I'm going to command every individual and every governor in my hukumah to stop lan upon Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu. And whoever is going to do that, I'm going to punish them. And therefore, Sayyid Rali, the writer of Nahjul Balagha, he praised Umar ibn Abdul Aziz because of this act, that he stopped lan upon Ahl Bayt alayhim salatu wasalam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And the second important thing, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, and because of this he was killed, of course. Narrators, they say, he wrote to the governor of Medina to give fadak back to Ali. And whatever income generated by fadak, he asked the governor to give to Ahl Bayt alayhim salatu wasalam. Everyone in his hukuma in Bani Umayyah, they said, this is against the seerah of Bani Umayyah and even Khulafa Rashidin. They said, they clearly said to him, Khalifa Awwal, Khalifa Dum and Khalifa Sum, they said, this is the property of Muslim nation and this is not belong to Fatima to Zahra salamullahi alayha. How you can go against the first Khalifa, second Khalifa and third Khalifa? So Umar ibn Abdul Aziz said, it's very much simple. If I was at that time, at that position, I would have given the fadak back to Fatima to Zahra salamullahi alayha. Because for me, Fatima is Siddiqatul Kubra. She is daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and we recite the kalima of Rasulullah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So Fatima asked the Hakim of the time nothing but fadak. So of course it was appropriate and it was their responsibility to return this fadak back to Fatima to Zahra salamullahi alayha. But when they didn't do, so of course I say there was on wrong position and my position is correct. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So the third reason, we go back to the reason why Imam Zamana alayhi salatu wasalam is in ghaibah. Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns from the progeny of munafiqeen and mushrikeen and kafirin. Allah wants mu'mineen to get from births in those progenies. With this, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us success and strength to know more about our Imam of the time, Imam Mahdi alayhi salam.